I want to move straight on to reviews, and this one I have not seen yet, Night Swim. And I'm a bit disappointed I haven't because it sounds so up my street.
Yes, I think it would be. I mean, I should just for the listeners' benefit, I should say I've literally just come from a screening of this. So there's been no time for any reflection on the film
Right.
whatsoever.
What about the tube journey?
I mean, I was eating a sandwich, so that was the
That
priority.
took up all brain space.
However, I have to say, if I see a film this year which requires less reflection than Night Swim, I'll be astonished. So I think we're good, okay?
Okay, fine.
This is a Blumhouse horror, written and directed by Bryce McGuire, who made a social media-inspired horror called Unfollowed a few years ago. And he expanded this from a short film from before that. And the film is about an evil swimming pool.
Sorry.
And
So
I know
the swimming pool is evil.
the swimming pool itself is evil.
That's
okay,
new. I've not heard that one before.
if you want to see a film about an evil swimming pool, okay, this is the film for you. So, for the benefit of listeners who did not see the clip, we've got a little kid in the swimming pool who, the sound of lots of ominous sloshing, is lured towards one of the drainy bits at the side by a voice. And this is, I mean, if you think the premise of, suburban house with an evil swimming pool in the garden sounds a bit Stephen King, this film is massively inspired by Stephen King. This is the Hiya Georgie moment, right? So you've got the kid kind of being lured over. There's a toy even. It's not a toy boat, it's a toy action figure, but it's kind of lodged in a drain. And lo and behold, there's this kind of voice piping out of this drain, and then something else comes out of the drain in short order, and that's that. So there's a very sort of Stephen King thing, a stain of evil on a place, and it's reaching back into American pre-colonial history, and then people have kind of built on top, but the curse kind of persists, the evil persists, and finds ways to attack human life in the present. Lots of other Stephen King things. It's about small town community life. It's got very unhappy kids in it, self-involved fathers. Horror used as this kind of blood-curdling, crazy, extrapolative metaphor for this difficult domestic situation. And as we saw, the Hiya Georgie moment, which is one of a number of, I think, pretty well-judged jump scares in this. I think my main problem with the film is that the premise of this evil swimming pool is so incredibly specific that the film struggles to find enough to do with this evil swimming pool to actually get to feature length.
It's limited, is it?
So as a short film, it makes, I can see this working beautifully. It's an hour and 38, and even then it sort of felt like it was a bit padding. Because clearly, for the swimming pool to do its evil, people have to keep on getting into the evil swimming pool.
Right.
If I lived in the house with the evil swimming pool, I would simply not swim in it.
Yes.
So that's kind of something that people keep missing. There's so many moments in this film where a member of the family is walking through the house in the middle of the night and then turns to the window and looks out, and there's someone else in the pool. Which is like, the pool's evil. Just come out of the pool, please. But you have to keep doing these things, obviously, so the evil swimming pool can do its thing. The evil swimming pool is not kind of coming into the house or anything. It's in the garden. You need to go to the pool itself. And I think the kinginess of it also becomes a little bit close to pastiche at the end. There's a moment where Wyatt Russell's character is kind of doing this demonic game of Marco Polo to try and find his daughter in the house, kind of, what can you do in a swimming pool? This is a blind man's buff game, so let's do a horrible version of that. Kerry Condon, who plays the mum and is very good in it.
Oh, I mean, I haven't seen her since Banshees, actually, so...
No, right, I was trying to think if I had as well. I'm not sure I have, but she was, she's out in the garden getting pawed by these subaquatic ghouls and things, and it's all a little bit like, if we're going to spoof Stephen King, this is the kind of stuff we would do. Having said that, I think the individual scenes are all really well built. The jump scares, as I said, work very well. There's also no gratuitous CGI. There's maybe a little bit, but it's very limited.
Okay, so these are like real monsters.
The scares feel
effects is what I mean by
grounded in the real world. I'm sure there's some CG in there, but you're not looking at it thinking this has been sort of airbrushed on after the fact. And it has the courage of its convictions. It has the story is about really whether the dad's desire to pursue his profession is going to outweigh his love for his family, and it sees that through to not a kind of a particularly provocative ending, but certainly an ending that doesn't pull any punches.
Okay.
I think if you hear there's a film about an evil swimming pool, do you want to see an evil swimming pool eat some people? Why not? This is going to do the trick.
Just quickly. I want to pick up on the idea of like an homage to, or a rip-off of, or a spoof of, or inspired by Stephen King. Where is the line for you with all of those things?
I think that the thing with Stephen King for me is it's the setting, right? It's and this isn't set in Maine. I think it's set in Minneapolis or somewhere further west,
Still begins with
Midwesty.
M. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, but it has, that's kind of small town, unhappy kids, self-absorbed, self-interested dads, and it's a vibe, isn't it? You know Stephen King when you're watching it or reading it, I think.
But do you think that's okay, or is it a disappointment?
Well, the thing is, the Stephen King formula really works. It is about sort of reaching into domestic and community unhappiness and kind of thinking, well, what if that was actually caused by an interdimensional monster?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm at peace with that.
Okay.
I think if you like that approach to horror, it's not super gory. It's got the texture of they make a big excuse of bringing a camcorder in, just because I think the visual texture of a camcorder on screen is more interesting than an iPhone, people or other forms of mobile devices. It's got that bit more tactility about it. So it's interested in those things that Stephen King stories are interested in too. So yeah, it's a vibe, it's a mood. I'm very at peace with people ripping off Stephen King.
Good to know.
Thanks very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed making it. While you're here, check out all the other videos because they're cool too, aren't they?
Yeah, and if you want to keep up to date with everything Kermode and Mayo's take, then check out our social channels.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
I mean, I would. I have done.
Excellent.